Human nature craves resolution. We want the final chapter, the solved puzzle, the closing argument. But sometimes, history refuses to cooperate. It leaves us with fragments, whispers, and empty spaces where the truth should be. From vanished figures in the sky to silent ships on the ocean, some mysteries seem designed to defy explanation. Today, we delve into 5 cases that remain frustratingly, tantalizingly, unresolved. Thanksgiving Eve, 1971. A man identifying himself as Dan Cooper boards a Northwest Orient flight from Portland to Seattle. He's nondescript: suit, raincoat, sunglasses. Mid-flight, he politely hands a flight attendant a note. He has a bomb. He demands $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. The plane lands in Seattle, exchanges the passengers for the ransom, and takes off again, heading toward Mexico City at a low altitude. Somewhere over the rugged wilderness of southwestern Washington, Cooper lowers the aft stairs, steps into the freezing, rainy night, and vanishes forever. Despite one of the most extensive manhunts in FBI history, not a trace of Cooper was found for years. In 1980, a young boy discovered a small portion of the ransom money decaying on a riverbank, but it only deepened the mystery. Did Cooper survive the jump? Was he an experienced skydiver or a desperate amateur? The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, leaving D.B. Cooper as the only unsolved air piracy in commercial aviation history. We move from the open skies to the claustrophobic isolation of 1922 Germany. Hinterkaifeck was a small homestead hidden deep in the Bavarian woods, occupied by the Gruber family. Days before the tragedy, the father, Andreas, told neighbors of strange occurrences: keys going missing, and footprints in the fresh snow leading out of the dense forest towards the farm, but none leading back out. On March 31st, the entire family and their new maid were lured into the barn one by one and brutally killed with a mattock. The crime wasn't discovered for 4 days. The chilling part: evidence suggested the killer, or killers, stayed in the house after the murders. They ate the family's food, kept the fires stoked, and even fed the cattle, all while the victims lay in the barn. The motive remains unknown, and the perpetrator vanished back into the woods they came from. December 1872. The British brig Dei Gratia spots a vessel drifting erratically in the choppy waters of the Atlantic, hundreds of miles east of the Azores. It is the American merchant brigantine, the Mary Celeste. When the crew of the Dei Gratia boarded her, they found nothing. The ship was in seaworthy condition. The cargo of industrial alcohol was largely intact. There was a 6-month supply of food and water. But the crew of 7, Captain Briggs, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter were gone. Their belongings were undisturbed. The only things missing were the ship's single lifeboat, the captain's navigation instruments, and the ship's register. Why would an experienced captain abandon a sound ship in calm weather? Theories range from mutiny and pirate attacks to seaquakes and alcohol fumes causing a panic. But the sea has never given up the secret of the Mary Celeste. Not all mysteries involve murder or vanishing acts. Some are just bizarre technological intrusions. On the night of November 22nd, 1987, television stations in Chicago experienced something unprecedented. During a primetime news broadcast, the signal was suddenly overpowered. The screen went black, then resolved into a grainy, distorted video of a person wearing a rubber mask of the character Max Headroom, bobbing frantically in front of a rotating, corrugated metal background. 2 hours later, they struck again during an episode of Doctor Who. This time, the audio was clearer. A rambling, garbled series of nonsensical statements, humming, and laughter. The hijack ended with the masked figure being spanked with a fly swatter by an accomplice before the signal cut out. Despite an FCC investigation, the individuals responsible for this sophisticated broadcast intrusion were never identified. It remains a surreal relic of 80s hacker culture. Finally, we go to the freezing Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union in 1959. 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, set out on a difficult winter trek. They never reached their destination. When search teams found their camp weeks later, the mystery deepened. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. The hikers had fled into the sub-zero night, many shoeless or only partially dressed. Their bodies were found, scattered down the slope and in a nearby ravine. The causes of death were baffling. Some died of hypothermia, but others had brutal internal injuries, fractured skulls and crushed chests, compared to the force of a car crash, yet with no external signs of struggle. Some victims were missing their eyes or tongues. Soviet investigators closed the case, stating the hikers died of a compelling natural force. What that force was, avalanche, military testing, or something else, remains debated to this day. These 5 cases are reminders that the world is still a vast, unknowable place. Despite our technology and forensics, some doors remain locked, and some shadows refuse to be illuminated. Which one do you think will ever be solved?